Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hoops and Homers. It's that time of the week. We are back at it again. Hey, if you're not subscribed or not following us yet on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go ahead, do that right now. Garrett will, I don't know, he'll make a prediction that's correct, I guess, this week for you as your gift.
It seems like that'd be almost an outlier after last week. Huh? Good to see everybody. How are we doing? I am not dying this time. Thanks for dealing with last week, but excited to be back to it.
He's got the energy. He's all locked and loaded and ready to talk about a very fun week of Denver Nuggets basketball and an interesting week of Colorado Rockies baseball. You know, we'll get to certainly for a few different reasons. But yeah, man, let's just dive right on into today's hooping because the Nuggets played their final 3 games before the All-Star break. It is All-Star weekend. By the way, I know we're kind of missing. You made the point earlier before we got on to say we're missing the Celebrity All-Star game right now. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are you that you're not watching some highly paid celebrity people do
So it feels
things?
like a -10. It has not been a good product for a little bit. Shout out Glorilla. She's probably going to go for 6. But yeah, thankful for this time to be spent a little more wisely.
Yeah, just a little bit more fun than watching that. That has not been good.
So you're allowed to send us clips though if this is worth our time.
It is. Yeah. Let us know in the comments section if you're watching live eventually how exactly that game is going. But hopefully you have our audio on and the game on your TV screen so you can do both at the same time.
What an interesting mix that would be.
It'd be quite the combination, honestly. Yeah. Maybe just pick one or the other. Hopefully you pick this one. But yeah, man. Okay, so the Nuggets had 3 games this week, and we made our picks for these games last week. You already know that Garrett is not going to be happy about this, although it really was only the one game that sunk you, okay? It was really just that Memphis game. The other 2, you were actually not off by a ton, okay? So the Chicago game happened. Nuggets won that game 136-120. I said that they would win 131-113. Within about 2 net points of that. The rating I've used to calculate the difference here is I'm just taking the game score itself and comparing it directly to the difference between what we thought the score would be and the game actual difference.
And put your score first when you know you have a better week and better results game to game.
Oh yeah.
Definitely there was a thought process behind that. I just want you to know I'm aware of this. It's just taking me further into the abyss.
And so this is how this ended up playing. Okay, so I said the Nuggets would beat Chicago 131-113. You said they'd win 127-119. Okay, so I was actually my rating for that was 2, so I was pretty close to the score. Yours was -8, which is also not terribly far off. You know,
I was closer with each team's score, not the margin. So there's room to improve.
This is true. But okay,
I hang my hat on the little things right now. So
that's a little thing to absolutely glean as a win. Okay, so that was game 1. Game 2 was Cleveland. Cleveland is the obvious difference here. Although you ended up having a better score in this game because you almost got the score in exactly flipped. Yeah. So I said the Nuggets would lose 124-112. Garrett said that the Nuggets would win 121-117, and the Nuggets lost 119-117, unfortunately. So you kind of made up a decent amount there with that game. And then we got to the Memphis game. And the Memphis game, really did you in because, I said that the Nuggets would win 129-117. You said that they would win 134-103, and the Nuggets won 122-116. Okay, so neither of us got the double-digit win that we wanted. But man, you thought that they would drop 130. You thought that they would drop 134 on Memphis, but not 134 on Chicago, which was interesting. Do you care to try to justify yourself here?
Totally. No, I think in a team that's starting Kyle Anderson or Gigi Jackson at center, I was hoping they could score more than 122. The problem was they decided to also not play defense in this game. And you know what? As we were talking off air, they don't care. They're getting into the All-Star break. All they needed was they wouldn't have cared if they won by 1. Adelman might have cared. They don't. This is the NBA mindset, and it's a few days of rest that they saw. Clearly saw the light at the end of the tunnel on this one. Yeah, it's disappointing. I think if this is a game right after the All-Star break, I would still pick the exact same score. And I think you'd probably be closer to me too.
I probably would be. Yeah, I guess so. Here's the interesting thing though. The Grizzlies going into that game against the Nuggets, at least the last 2 weeks, had an offensive rating of 115 and a defensive rating of 121. So this game literally almost played out exactly as the ratings would have had you believe, but
without Ja Morant,
without JJJ now, I suppose. So yeah, that was a very interesting week. But all in all, the net rating that we're currently at, and we're going to keep a running tally now, so you'll have a chance to hopefully redeem yourself over the rest of the season.
Hopefully.
Going into this week, my rating is -2, which pretty much means that I underestimated how close the Nuggets would be in a loss, because I thought they'd lose by 12. They ended up losing by 2, right? So I'm at -2, and you're at 23. Ideal rating here is 0, right? Because you'd get a 0 rating if you correctly predicted the exact score and deficit. But yeah, so you're at 23 because you way overestimated that Nuggets win against the Grizzlies. So that's where we're at going into this week. But I mean, does anything stand out to you from the 3 games this week? I mean, they were okay. It didn't feel like they were anything special. But what are your thoughts on either of those 3 or all of those 3 games that we saw the last week?
Yeah, I guess I just didn't see Jemai Meshack and Lawson Lovering coming in and just dominating the Nuggets. No, I mean, I'll be salty about that forever. I think we both talked about the idea of this Bulls team being an exciting offense team, that the team that had no chance of stopping the Nuggets on offense, and we saw that play out. We also saw a Cleveland team that has a renewed energy, a renewed defensive perspective, and right now Harden fits really well there with what they're doing. It was a bad matchup for Denver, even at home, and that's why I knew it was going to be a close game. Your boy Tim Hardaway, welcome to hell on that one.
Oh, we'll talk about Tim Hardaway later.
I know we'll get there. And then the Memphis game, I think we kind of already spoke to what that was. That was disappointing, but understandable. Bounce back is going to be needed in a really tough game against the Clippers next week on the road.
This is true. Yeah. So, I mean, it was very exciting. Okay, the Chicago game was great, right? You get 136. Joker gets his second place all-time ranking in triple doubles in that game. So that was really the takeaway from that. It was a weird game though, because it was way too close throughout like the first 3 quarters of that game, and then the fourth quarter just went terribly for the Bulls. So that was the Bulls game. Nothing terribly special. You got the outcome you kind of expected. Cleveland game, I thought we were going to lose by more, because I just wasn't convinced that with this rotation we would have enough offense to outdo that Cleveland team that had an offensive rating of 122 coming into that game against us. So
yeah, and you only add defensive pests and Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder, and then Harden, who is frankly just a better offensive player than Darius Garland. So a lot of good additions by Cleveland. Again, I mentioned that's a team that could sneak up and win the East, and I think you saw that on full display.
Yeah, you certainly did. So that was a good game for that reason. It was closer than I thought, but my boy Hardaway kind of did not come through clutch at the end there, which is fine because of how incredibly consistent he's been throughout the first, 3-4 months of this season so far. So that's all right. I don't really want Tim Hardaway taking game winners anyway. Those are Jamal and Joker shots, but that's all right. Fair enough.
To go back to the Bulls game, if you were to not look at the box score, out of all the guys that played, how many do you think missed more shots than they made? Just to tell you how bad the Bulls defense is for the Denver. So 11 guys played
for the Bulls.
11 guys played for the Nuggets.
Oh, for the Nuggets. Okay.
How many of them do you think missed more shots than they made?
How many of them shot under 50% from the field? Is how you're
correct.
Asking? Oh man, 11. Okay, who were 10 and 11? Probably Pickett and oh my goodness, Najee.
Those are both correct.
Okay, and then we had the rest of my rotations. There's got to be one more person who's not in my 8-man rotation that carried this week. Oh, man.
So there's nobody else because Deron Holmes didn't take a shot in the minute he played.
But
9
the minutes.
9 of 11 guys shot better than 50%.
No, okay,
how obnoxious. We're not counting. 9 of 11 guys missed or made more shots than they missed. Holmes is obviously a little bit of a cheat code there, but Even Cam Johnson, 6 of 9. Joker, 7 of 12. Jamal Murray, 11 of 18. Christian Brown, 4 of 6. Struthers, 7 of 14. Valanciunas, 5 of 8. Hardaway, 6 of 11. Wow. Bruce Brown, 3 of 5. They were all, they just dominated this game offensively.
Yeah, they crushed. What were they from 3 in that game? They had to have
16 of 33. It's 48%, and that is, analytically speaking, pretty good.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that'll work every game, actually.
Yeah.
So
it was better than their weekly average. But the Bulls shot better from 3 in that game, didn't they?
They did. They shot 39. Actually, they did not. Sorry. They shot 20-51. They took 18 more threes. Still shot 39%. They shot the ball pretty well. The guard thing is weird. Trying to guard that team is kind of impossible because of all the guard play they have. But yeah, no, just a team that was incapable of staying in front of me and you is the team that Denver went up against last week.
Yeah, that's pretty cracked. But we kind of expected that going into that game.
Yeah, it had to be. That had to be the game plan. That had to be the result. It was a needed thing, especially when you don't show up against Memphis and tough ending against Cleveland.
Yeah, the Memphis game went kind of similarly to the Chicago game, right? Well, not even, because the Nuggets built like a 15-point lead at one point against Memphis. And then they almost they did blow it.
No, I nod because like there were moments where it looked that way, and then just clearly moments of a lackadaisical approach, a focus thing. Hey, I can't wait to go to Cuba next week. Man, I can't imagine what's going to happen. What kind of place I get to go to the restaurant with my wife tonight? All these kind of things that are just popping into their head. Sorry, I don't know if this is throwing you back to Bea. If you have any plans this weekend, but you better not forget that. Just shout out the super wife of this group.
That was a clutch reminder for sure, bro.
And you forgot?
No, of course.
Okay,
of course not. But
guys, we'd have to put him on blast. We forgot about his first wife's Valentine's Day. That cannot happen.
Yeah, that cannot happen. But
back to you.
That must have been the perspective there, because it's like. But we've seen it happen so many times throughout the year too, where it's like they'll get these massive leads and then they just lose their focus late in the game, which is why they kind of really have to just get back to their normal game flow, where first quarter is all right. Starters get a decent lead. Bench came in and gave up that lead. Then they were able to come back towards the end of the second quarter, make it like a 5 or so point game at halftime. Third quarter, they'd absolutely crush. Fourth quarter, they might not crush as much, but they'd be good enough to not blow most of the lead that they'd built. And so if they're outside of that rhythm, then they just find themselves in very weird situations.
You wonder, even past the idea of the All-Star break, if this is just a team that's, been through the pains of what the playoff does to teams, and especially them. Recently, you wonder if they have moments where they just hold back a little bit to make sure they have that energy for the playoffs. You saw the Warriors do this for a few years, where they literally could not care outside of one quarter because they were so talented. Now, Denver's not that same team, but they have guys that can, just kind of feed them for an 8-minute stretch, and that can be enough in a game like against who was the best player in Memphis in this game? Oh my gosh,
GG Jackson. Was it?
GG Jackson was 21 points, 6 of 12 from the field. So that's not going to lead to a lot of wins, which respect to Gigi, the South Carolina product. Ty Jerome's taking 11 shots. Jemai Meshack, who nobody who hasn't watched college basketball even knows who that is. I do, because Mizzou had a game winner on him at his place.
Okay.
But we're gonna leave it there. Back to more important things.
Yeah. Well, I was watching the highlights of that game, and I was like,
you don't know who that is. Yeah, exactly.
He had a nifty little finish in like the third quarter or something. I was like, who's that? Why is he doing that?
Yeah, he couldn't even shoot in college. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
NBA development.
NBA development, especially for the Grizzlies. Are the Grizzlies, I don't have the standings here. Are the Grizzlies still like in that 10th, 11th seed, somehow borderline?
So no chance. They are 11, but they're now 5.5 back of the Clippers. And there is no prayer of them catching them at this point.
No, probably not. Okay. Fair enough. Fine. All right. Well, that's the Grizzlies, and that's the Nuggets game against the Grizzlies. But we have to talk about some of these contributors, man, because the Wings really stepped it up this week. If you take a look at who had a better week than last week, there are two guys who had a better week than last week. Christian Brown continued to get back to his normal
Felt like
self.
he had his legs back this week.
It did feel like the ankle was not bothering him anymore, and it certainly looked like that. And then Tim Hardaway actually had a better week than he did last week, understandably so. Boy's getting back to his season average in the most favorable situation he's ever played in his career. And so those two had a really solid week, but you take a look at their weekly stat line. I mean, Christian actually played the most minutes per game, believe it or not, of all the guys this week who played consistently, which is 8. He averaged 15, 5, and 3 assists, 63% from the field, and 50%.
So I think they'll take that every game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I will too. I think that's my starting 2 guard who got like a 5-year, $125 million extension this offseason.
Yeah, scary deal. But a guy that just does everything that they need from him, right? Rebounder, has no problem laughing at somebody while he dunks on him, aka Rudy Gobert. And really, if he's able to make even just a couple threes a game in the playoffs, that is a huge burst to that team.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. He's not shooting a ton of volume threes, which is fine. I mean,
no, but he's never going to. That's not who he is.
It's unfortunate because he would get so many good looks.
Oh, they're wide open every time he shoots the ball.
They are. But I mean, he lives off of the back cuts and he lives off Nikola Jokic pretty much.
He's a smart player, right?
He is. Yep. And so 70% of his shots are twos. Most of those are from less than 10 feet. And so that is his role, and he plays it beautifully. Joker had a slightly worse week, relatively speaking, than he did last week. But, I mean, for a guy who averaged 23 points per game, 11 rebounds a game, 13 assists a game on 53% shooting and 50% from the three-point line, I mean, that's not terrible. I mean, it's just that field goal percentage that really kind of did it in for him. 53% for Joker is really kind of a unique oddity, it feels like, recently. And so he's still kind of getting back into the flow of the game. But I mean,
don't think he's thrilled to be in the All-Star game this year?
Is he actually going to participate now that he's healthy? Yeah, exactly. So, well,
there was you didn't note the sarcasm that I had in my voice for that.
I did, and I was like,
even if he plays, he will not care.
No, he will not care. And so, yeah, that's the distinction I was going to make. I was going to say, he's like,
there's no chance.
Is he going to show up? Hopefully, but hopefully not, maybe, because he would be so amazing if all he did was throw lobs, but that's not how the All-Star game works for him, unfortunately.
I would love to get your thoughts on this later in the episode. We can't do it now because we got so much to catch on. But I heard Nick Wright on Bill Simmons' podcast. I don't know if you heard of this. Brought the idea of white guys versus black guys for the All-Star game. And I just know I need your thoughts about this later on.
Because I have both perspectives. Is that why?
I think I just need your thoughts. But we'll move on for now. I have loved what the Wings have brought. Even without Aaron Gordon, I think you have 5 guys that are contributing in the starting lineup every game. I am deeply unthrilled with how Cam Johnson has been most of the year, but he played well. He played better this week. He's going to bring a defensive element that Michael Porter Jr. was not able to bring. Like Christian Brown, a lot of his threes are wide open. So, it's got to work at some point. And then Christian Brown just has done, again, he's been so good. He's just improved every year with what he's doing. Guys, that's what Tim Hardaway came here, and he was paid to do that. So it's going to continue. I don't think it's going to – you just hope that another slump doesn't happen in the second round against OKC. That will not go well.
Hopefully not. I'm really hoping that's not the case.
Or I guess the second round will be San Antonio right now, but you can see their length bugging him a lot, right? It's not that hard to believe.
Yeah,
that scenario. I hope they won't, but
hopefully not. But what you really see with the wings that they have right now, the 4 main ones are Christian Brown, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, and Julian Strawther this week.
I love me some Strawther, bro.
So with that group, you really have a good balance, right? Because Christian lives in the paint pretty much with those cuts. Tim lives on the 3-point line with that catch and shoot. And then Cam Johnson and Julian Strawther kind of do a little bit of both with the 3-point shooting and the play with the pull-ups and the floaters inside.
Strawther's got a pretty floater. Yeah. I actually think he plays really well off Jokic. I'd like to see it either be Watson or Strawther as that 5th guy instead of Johnson as a starter in the playoffs. I don't know if that's going to happen. I know that's a little eccentric, but I think that's actually a fit that makes more sense. I think if you just let Cam be a 6-man in the playoffs, I actually think you might be able to unlock more game there, not just the catch and shoot, the little 17-footer. he's a really good passer that you actually might get to see a little more of that on the second team. Just a thought from me. But I know Strawther's had his minutes kind of pulled here and there. It was that way last year. It's been that way since he's been a Nugget. He's a darn good player, man, and he shows up every time he plays.
Well, so he started the year off kind of hurt, right?
Mhm.
And so then he came back and he was kind of struggling when he came back for the little playing time that he got. But
Yeah, there's only so much you can do when you only play 3-4 minutes, right? Here and there. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
And he kind of finally has worked himself into this rotation, which will need him over the next month.
Absolutely.
Without Peyton Watson, he will get the opportunity to do what he did this week. He averaged 17, 4 rebounds, 0.7 assists. All right. But 51% from the field.
He's not out there to pass.
He's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's out there to shoot, and that's what he did.
He's out there to finish plays.
51% from the field and 39% from the 3 on 6 attempts a game. So that's pretty solid.
That's going to work. Every time it's going to work.
Yeah. And he's good balance from 2, from 3, about 54%, 46%, 2-point, 3-point attempts per game. Living
Even
with the
if
catch and
he's,
shoot.
46 and 39 for the rest of the year, that's enough for what we're asking him to do.
This is true. Yeah. And so he's really actually kind of stepped up in a way I didn't really expect him to. I don't know. In this lineup, is he playing more of the 2 or the 3? Because the lineup this week was Jamal, Christian Brown, Julian Strawther, Cam Johnson, and Nikola Jokic.
Well, I think that there's a guy that's a more physical presence between him and Brown, and I think it's definitely Brown. So I would tend to say Strawther's a 2 in that lineup. I think he's played the 3 a little bit in lineups. You're never going to see him as a 4. That would he would get annihilated in that scenario.
Yeah,
Christian Brown. There's a world where they play small, and he's actually. It's probably not going to happen. But like, who would you rather play? Who do you think's getting an offensive rebound off a free throw, Brown or Strawther?
Well, yeah, Brown has 15
Absolutely.
pounds on him. So.
Totally. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be your answer. But also Strawther's willing to just sling it, dude.
Yeah.
In a way that Brown will probably never be there.
No.
And there's just something to that, like the playoff bench guys at home, like I don't think you're going to see Brown have 30 points in a playoff game. There's a weird scenario where that happens for Strawther, right?
Very weird scenario where he gets hot like he did against Oklahoma City in
Absolutely.
Game 6 last year in the second round.
Yeah, it wasn't 30, but like he was unstoppable for 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had like 15, 16 or something.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah,
that's
so
enough.
That's possible. It's possible for him to get cooking. Cam Johnson, too, to your point about that. 10 points per game this week, 4 rebounds. All right, 1 assist, 57% from the field, and 56% from 3.
You guys all say this about MPJ, but he's getting paid way too much for doing what he does, bro.
Cam Johnson?
Yeah, he does.
Well,
he's just not. He hasn't been enough.
He has not, and you're absolutely right about that. But here's the thing, right? The Mike trade opened up a lot of other things.
No, I hear you.
Financially. And I mean, even for 22, right? It's like if you could have if you could have a guy who's making $22 million a year and then have the other 3 guys, even though they're not nearly as good as MPJ is this year, assuming you don't have all those other guys, if you'd made that trade and you just had MPJ as your third option, you really think Mike is going to be like 25, 26 points per game?
No, he's not.
In this lineup.
And he's not. But I mean, could he be 21? Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. That's always the hope that we had for him, is that he could turn into the guy that they gave those opportunities to, but they never really let him just do stuff unless other people were hurt. And then when everyone got healthy again, like,
that was kind of it.
That was it. Because I think there was a stretch last year where he had 30 in 3 of 4 straight games because people were injured and got more looks.
An outlier for him when he gets the ball.
No, because he's absolutely incredible. But I mean, for $38 million to not really be able to do that, I mean, I'll take Cam Johnson's defense and his ability to shoot the 3 pretty much the same way, and his intellect and IQ on the court over Mike, even at this point in the season when Mike is just crushing. Kind of snubbed for the All-Star game, though, by the way.
I would agree. I mean, obviously, I think it was pretty clear last time how much of an MPJ guy I am, but
completely unbiased.
No doubt that the team is better with the less salary of Cam Johnson, but can Cam just give us 15 and 4?
Well, so
14 and 6.
So because he's getting, I don't have his shot attempts per game.
He's playing enough to get that, I think.
he's getting fewer 3-point attempts than Strother, Hardaway. He's getting about the same as Christian Brown.
Is that bad? Yes. That's not good. That's not good.
Maybe if they gave him more shots, he would get closer to 13 or so a game. But he's not going to really get to the free throw line a ton and get a lot of extra points.
He does a lot of the same cut stuff when he was on Phoenix that Strother and Watson and a lot of the Nuggets guys did or do with Jokic. So really, it's one of those. I think when LeBron said to Kevin Love his first year, you either fit in or you fit out. I'm not sure Cam's fit super well with the guys right now.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate because if you'd seen him on paper this offseason, it looked like a great fit. You know, a guy who could play off the ball, presumably, right? Catch and shoot guy, 3-and-D. And so you really assumed that he would be able to fit nicely into this system, but for whatever reason, he just has not been able to yet.
Also, he's 6'8", 210, and he averages 3.6 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
Guys, that's not enough.
Well, when you have Joker and usually AG kind of soaking up a lot of those shots, because like here's the thing, right? If he gets in there and gets defensive rebounds, then you don't have his
other guys to kind of,
you don't have his shooting on the
fast break.
You don't have his shooting on the fast break then, right?
That's what Jamal's for.
Well,
or whatever. I mean, Hardaway, Strother, because they're not short on shooting this year.
Yeah, that's true. But I think this is kind of the weird thing because Christian Brown is kind of that guy. Right. He's the rebounder. And it's a little bit strange that that's the way it is. But yeah.
Because he fights more than Cam Johnson. He fights on the boards. He's a guy that's he understands what the coaches are asking of him. And I just don't think you've seen that with Cam.
No.
Cam's just being paid too much for what he's providing right now.
Yeah, this is true.
Which I know is the MPJ concern. MPJ still shot 46% from three while he was here and scoring 18 a game.
Yeah. Oh, well, we needed the depth.
Point mute. Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, like that, the takeaway from this section that we're talking about, the wings, is that you have a solid wing rotation, even though you're missing Peyton Watson, and even though you're missing Eric Gordon, who gives a lot of these other wings the opportunity to truly play their position and not have to really play up to a 3 or 4.
You're missing Cam Johnson.
And Cam Johnson, he's going to slot in there. He's not the 4 that he's playing right now. And so if he gets back to 3, then we'll see if he can continue to shoot efficiently in the few looks that he gets. But
gosh, I hope he can make a few more wide open threes. Yeah.
It'd be so nice, dude. It really would. But okay.
And take them too, right? You've seen him pass up a few.
I know. So. And he's got some pretty good range too. So he just needs that confidence. But okay. So yeah, the wings are in a solid position to hold things down without Peyton Watson, without Aaron Gordon for the next few weeks. But the team, this is actually a really good thing. And I know that the competition this week included 2 teams that are not playoff contenders really right now, and then one really good team. But you love to see how the Nuggets played against the league this week, especially on offense. All right.
They needed an easier week considering the murderers row they faced last week.
This is true. And the league, thank you to the league for that. All right. Nuggets had a 126 offensive rating this week. Okay. That was number 3, I think, in the league.
I think that works.
Top 3. It does work. Yeah. The pace came back up this week to about league average.
About, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially you.
They finally started creating themselves more opportunities, which is probably why they scored more points this week too.
They might add some more wide eyes when they saw James Harden or Jaden Ivey or who's a Grizzly I can name? Jalen Wells on them.
Jalen Wells.
I think they get a little more excited when they see those guys instead of the demons they had to face last week.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit better. So yeah, the pace really good with the offense. Offensive rebounding was about league average. It was in the middle category there at about 11 a game, which is much better than it was a few weeks ago. So you're obviously happy to have Joker and Big Val back because now you're being able to create more second chance opportunities. Turnovers were actually kind of out of character for them this week. They were about league average in turnovers, and usually they're top 5.
When you go for as many Showtime passes as they do, it's just going to happen sometimes. The Warriors are a high turnover team as well. And especially with the offensive rebounding thing that you're noting, it's a team that has a lot of size. So when they want to, that's an option that you're seeing they can answer for. I also think that sometimes they're almost not crashing just so they can protect the fast break. That's a team that easily in the playoffs could be a top 3 or top 5 offensive rebound team if they want to.
Yeah, it feels like it, right? So that's really the hope that we're holding out for is that they're kind of just taking the regular season as easily, quote unquote, as they can. And then postseason is where they step it up like they have historically. So that's understandable. And then it gets really green from there. Okay. Assists, they were top, I think they were first in the league in assists this last week, 30 a game. Okay. When you get 23 from your top two stars and Joker and Jamal, it's probably going to be a good assist week.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's just a little bit, just a tad. 52% from the field. That was also top 3 in the NBA.
If they average 30 a game, they would break the wins record, by the way, for just what you guys understand. If they average 30 a game, they'd go 74-8. They're not going to, but
they'd be pretty cracked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good perspective to put it in. That's an awful lot of assists. League average was 26. So yeah. Field goal percentage, top of the league. 3-point percentage, top of the league. Although they only took 32 a game. And so this is kind of the weird thing with them. I don't really understand it, honestly.
That hasn't changed either. That's the thing. Even with new coach, they never took threes.
But the crazy thing is this year they're getting crazy offensive ratings despite that. I'm just not sure how that's working, especially considering that they played 119 rating defense this last week and are like middle of the pack overall in the league this year.
Well, isn't it weird to say that literally if they just took the same amount of threes as a top 7 or 8 team in that category, they easily have the best offensive rating in the league.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if they do right now, but
they're already really close to it right now. But just for them to take 8 more threes a game would light them on fire.
Yeah. That's how they beat Boston when they were not healthy earlier in January. Right? They 20 of 44 from 3. Okay. So like that is a really undiscovered weapon for them. And they need to explore it more. But 13 of 32 from 3 in a week, it's just unimpressive. All right. Pretty mid. Okay. Free throw attempts. They got to the line more than anyone else this week, 33 attempts per game. So
I would hope so. That guy has claw marks on himself every time. I'm talking about Jokic.
He does, man. He looks like he's been mauled by a grizzly bear every single time he comes out of the paint or goes to the free throw line. It becomes apparent. They only shot 76% from the free throw line, though. So team that started off top 5 in the league in free throw percentage is actually kind of tailing off, which is unfortunate.
Tell me what that was in the Cleveland game.
The free throw percentage?
I can look at it. I can actually look it up for you.
I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say, well, they only scored 117. I'm going to say it was probably about 73%.
Okay. And I'll say 71 without taking a look at it yet. Let's take a look here. Love that everything's being slow for me today.
They don't want you to know.
So they actually shot 80% in that game.
So that was one of the better games they shot from the free throw line this week. Okay.
How about the Memphis game? Because that game was closer than you were hoping for.
The Memphis game, they had to have shot in the mid 70s. No, not even. If they shot 80% in the Cleveland game, they had to have shot worse in both of the other 2 games. So I'm going to guess 72%.
No, they're at 81. So let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, there's another game that we talked about.
The Chicago
They
game?
scored 136 points this game and shot 67% from the free throw line, which is just hilarious for an NBA team to be around that.
Dude, I would not have.
No, I wouldn't have either. I mean, look how far off we were in both the other games. Okay. And
then I guess we'll also mention the defense real quick.
Yeah.
Unless you have.
No. I was gonna
guess.
Let's give you back the mic there.
Yeah, well, I mean, 119 defensive rating. That was bottom 10. All right, not great, especially considering you played 2 teams that are not playoff contenders, and had bottom 7 defenses coming into that week.
The game you needed to score a lot.
Yeah, but they were top 10 in the league in defensive rebounds, 34 a game. All right, and then fouls, middle of the pack, 20 a game. Did not get steals, did not get blocks. All right, so. Tough defensive week for the Nuggets, but the offense was just so incredible this week, relatively speaking, that I guess it didn't really ultimately matter, which is kind of what you're hoping for with some of your best defenders out with injury, I guess. Yeah. What were you going to say? What are you investigating right now?
No. So we're still looking at 3-pointers attempted per game, and Denver's still in the barely out of the bottom 10. I think it's astounding. They shoot almost 40% from 3 per game.
Yeah.
Like, it is just out of control. They have too many shooters to justify it anymore.
They need to do something about that. And imagine what the offensive rating would be if they shot more threes.
They average 120 points a game right now
Mm-hmm.
without this.
Yeah, with most of the time below league average pace, which is crazy.
Well, I think as much as we give credit for Jokic being in shape, I think he needs a few possessions here and there.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Just a few, Hey, this week, how many? Take a guess how many of his shots were twos this week? What percentage?
Okay. I'm gonna say 75.
Okay, last week it was 64, just for context.
Okay.
64% of his shots were twos. You said 75 this week. It was 90%.
That's a big number.
He was not having any of he after that Knicks game when he shot 1 of 13 from 3. He was like, I'm just not going to do that.
Also, this is a good thing for his pace. He isn't just running from 3-point line to 3-point line. So
yeah,
that's a good sign.
This is true. Okay, so
I mean, unless you thought that Modest Buzelis was going to stop him in the paint last week.
He was not going to stop him in the paint, but he's actually pretty impressive, dude. I didn't know he's as good as he is.
He's very good.
Did not know that.
We'll never be bringing that up on a pod again. But yes, I have some Modest Buzelis thoughts.
Yeah, by
maybe a trade piece. He's a 3 that would show up on and really make a lot of sense for Denver. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, even though isn't this his second year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crazy.
They would never. I mean, it's the Bulls. Maybe they would, but
well, they shouldn't.
That would be a terrible idea. He's by far the best asset they have left on the team.
Yeah. So shout out.
Unless you're a Josh Giddey believer. Oh, sorry, Josh Giddey believer. Okay. We're really getting off track here, so I'll take the blame on that.
That's so funny. Okay.
How are you feeling about this week coming up?
Yes. So it's prediction time, my friend. We have one whole game to predict this upcoming week. It's just the Clippers game. And then we'll be right back at it Friday evening. So, look, my friend, coming into this next week when they play the Nuggets. Okay. Last 2 weeks, Clippers have been bottom 10 in defense, in offense. In defense, they've been kind of mid. Okay. 112 offensive rating, 113 defensive rating. That said, the Nuggets are probably, it's at LA. Okay.
Yeah, hard place to play. They have the weird stadium.
They do. It's a new Clippers team too, right? Is Darius Garland healthy and playing?
So let's take a look at that. I don't think there is a chance he doesn't play the rest of the year. I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, give me that injury report.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick.
That will impact my prediction here because the Nuggets are going to probably score lower 120s. That's my guess. I'm not.
So ICA has no timetable for a return just 4 days ago. That's not great.
Okay.
Why don't let's go ahead and make a prediction.
They have no Zubats either. They traded him.
Yeah, he's gone.
So they have no Jokic stopper. Okay, well, my prediction.
Unless you believe in Yannick Niederhauser.
No, well, who's the random center that the Grizzlies put out?
Okay. Well, sorry, Brook Lopez is also on the Clippers. You're talking about the random center
on the Grizzlies. Yeah,
Jacques Landau got traded. It's not him.
It's the guy his name starts with an L. You said it earlier.
Oh, Lawson Lovering.
Lawson Lovering. I underrated Lawson Lovering.
I don't think I've seen a wider character on the ESPN screen in a while.
What's the Nuggets win percentage for this game? What's the
okay?
They called the
good question.
FPI or something.
Let's take a look at that real quick. It's got to be
like 85.
You think it's that high?
It's got to be. Well,
it's only Nuggets 52.2%.
Really?
This is a game that's on the road, and also a Clippers team that's still in the play-in for now, fighting for their playoff lives. Fine. Also, I mean, secretly, not secretly, since he did not cut down those trees, Kawhi's been really good this year.
Yeah, well.
I mean, there's a joke that somebody, again, I love Bill Simmons. I listened to a pod today saying that there's a pathway with all these guys that aren't playing the 65 game threshold for Kawhi to sneak in and get an MVP this year.
Oh my god.
It's not going to happen probably. But when you average 28, 6, and 4, it's gonna work in most environments. He's still a really good player.
Yeah, even in his mid.
Still a guy that, as much as you love that Nuggets wing rotation, I mean, gosh, I wouldn't be stunned if he has 45 off a few days of rest. Watch him ask out of the All-Star game. He's not going to end up playing, and then he's going to kill the Nuggets. Yeah. I don't like this game for the Nuggets. This is a bad matchup.
Okay, you go first.
I can't do that because I have to put the pressure on you after I lost this week. So
oh my gosh! All right,
you go first.
Pressure to make me go first. All right. Well, they don't have the Jokic stopper. Brook Lopez is not that, and they don't have Darius Garland or any real legitimate guard. So it's Kawhi against a decently healthy Nuggets team. I'm gonna say the Nuggets win this game, 124-118.
So I think it's hilarious you get to that point. I actually have the Clippers winning this one, 124-117.
Are you serious?
I do. And I think if the Clippers win this, I'm somehow back in the race.
Yeah. This is
because right now I need this. If the Nuggets win this game, do you know how far back I am at that point? It's going to be.
You're almost entirely.
It's almost done already for me. No, but I really just think that the Clippers are a younger team, a little more youthful. I can see them coming out of the break, giving them one last hurrah, and then Kawhi might secretly he might see a quiet suspension about this aspiration thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I could see I really do see Kawhi just burning a hole in this Nuggets wing rotation that we were just talking about. I think it's a really bad matchup for them.
Okay. All right. So you predict that the Nuggets will lose by almost the exact same score. I think they'll win.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, certainly a deterrent kind of week for us. We'll see where things go from here. I hope I'm wrong.
Yes, I hope you're wrong too. I hope I'm right.
You do.
I know you don't say. You don't say. Well, okay. So that was today's hooping. All right, it's time for today's home run. And so the Rockies actually, they made some moves, man. And I know the front office had been talking about this in early to mid-January, right around when they signed Lorenzen. They said they wanted to bring in one or two veteran relievers who have experience, who can eat innings, and who cannot look like they're not MLB pitchers.
Yeah, they made a really big move. Rockies Chris Bryant to the 60-day deal. I had to stop you halfway through. Oh, man.
Wild, bro.
They did make some really big moves, right? I'll give it back to you. I think, can you believe Jose Quintana is a really interesting fit for Colorado?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so is Big Tomoyuki Sugano. Yeah.
I'm trying to make him laugh, dude. I think I might be done.
That's all, Chuck. All he needed was to hear me say one Japanese player name. That sent him.
You sound like Andrew Santino making fun of Bobby Lee on his podcast. That was really, really, really. You know what I'm talking about.
I think I've seen those reels. Yeah,
that was really good, man. You got me.
Right, beautiful. Well, okay, and so those are the two moves the Rockies made. All right, they signed Tomo Sugano and Jose Quintana, both to 1-year deals. Both are about the same amount. All right. And so here's the thing, man. I talked about this last night when I was on Rockies Now with the gang over at 5280 Media. But there's just so much shout out for sure.
No big deal. Just name drop.
Go check out the rest of the 5280 content if you haven't. All right. Everyone in like the MLB transaction pages was just lighting up these guys and the Rockies for this, because these are not guys who profile, quote unquote, well, for Coors Field. And everyone's like, well, Sugano's just going to get absolutely rocked because of all the home runs he gave up last year, third most in MLB. They're like, well, Jose Quintana doesn't really fit the mold either. He's not a velo guy. He's going to get torched, especially considering his expected ERA was significantly higher than his actual ERA last year. They're both in their late 30s. Terrible moves for the Rockies. And I completely disagree.
I think I do too.
Yeah. And so, okay, let's start with Big Tomo. That's what I'm going to call him. All right.
Oh, thank God you're not doing that to me again.
I really want to.
I know you do.
But all right, let's go take a look at Tomo. All right. So here's the thing that we have to understand about this. the Rockies aren't just signing these guys to give rotational stability, right? Obviously, you like to have guys who had 10-win seasons in your rotation. Both of them did last year. But they're signing these guys to provide just general stability with their veteran experience, but also for a few unique reasons. Tomo's and Jose's are a little bit different. But for Tomo was really good in the NPB over in Japan until he came over here last year in his mid-late 30s. Had a decent year for the Orioles, like I said, 10-10, 4.64 ERA, started 30 games, 157 innings. So not bad, right? But I mean, you take a look at some of the numbers here, right? Didn't really strike people out. He was terrible with strikeouts, didn't generate whiffs, swings and misses at pitches in the zone. Got average chase. All right, that's fine. About average ground ball rate, average hard hit. But he didn't walk people at all. He was top of the league in walk rate, right? He had like a 5% walk rate. And so what the Rockies are looking at here with Tomo is, all right, this is a guy who was really good in Japan. It was his rookie season, first time facing the best hitters on the planet in 2025, and he pitched decently well. Still feels like he can be better than he was last year. And they're looking at this pitch mix too, because this pitch mix is really, really interesting. All right. He throws a splitter. Well, he throws 6 total pitches, right? But he really only throws, I guess he throws them all at least 10% of the time, which is really interesting. Splitter, sweeper, 4-seam, sinker, cutter, curve. All right. And so that splitter and that sweeper, that sinker, they're going to play. 4-seam won't. All right. The curve will. He just doesn't throw it very much. And then that cutter is going to be absolutely batting practice at Coors Field. So hopefully he does not throw that pitch very frequently. But I don't know, man. When you think of Tomo, just in general, from your perspective, because I'm not sure how you're evaluating his fit here, what comes to mind with Big Tomo?
It feels like a big buy low spot for him. Obviously, that's going to be seen as a negative in some aspects. It's a guy that doesn't have a lot to lose. I think you'll see a different energy from him. Also, the thing that people talk about at Coors Field or that don't talk about as much, really an opportunity for him to get in a lot better shape out here in the weather. And I think that his stuff does play. I hate that part of the graphic when you see on ESPN how he signed is reminding me that Chris Bryant's making over $1 million per game he's played so far for the Rockies. But back to Sugano. I'm sorry. That really ruined your
back
day.
Back to who?
There's just not really a lot of downsides to this. I think it's another veteran presence that you'll get with him, with Quintana. I think that, yeah, like you said, I think as long as he stays away from the cutter, he's not, humming a fastball right down the middle. I think there's a chance that his stuff works out here. It hasn't been worse than what they've had at starting pitcher for everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't think he's throwing to a 7 ERA here in Coors. I don't. As I tell you what, honestly, if he has the year he had here, secretly that's the second best pitcher in the staff last year.
Yeah, maybe even the best.
Maybe the best.
Yeah.
So that's we just need to think through the prism of, hey, lower expectations for this rotation. The more you work your way up, that's fine. But it's been so bad for so long. You just need to see incremental improvement in that rotation to see a huge change possibly in wins. Just talking about. I mean, and obviously the offense is going to be better this year. If the rotation's even a little bit better, think about what that does.
Oh, see, and that's the thing, right? Because the bullpen,
just a little bit.
The bullpen was really pretty solid, all things considered, last year. Now the long relievers weren't great, and the long relievers
awesome compared to the rest of the team.
Yes, the starters were not good. The starters were terrible. Actually, they had one of the worst starting pitcher staff ERAs in MLB history, along with a lot of the other things that were statistically one of the worst in MLB history. But I mean, again, looking at what he has to do a little bit differently at Coors Field, because he has a mix that works. Like I said, that 4-seam is not going to work. Okay, he gets a ton of rise out of it. That's going to drop at least 3 inches. It's about 17 inches right now. That'll drop to 14, which is not a good 4-seam fastball.
So you know what that sounds like? That sounds like down the middle.
that sounds like a pitch that gets hit a really long way.
Yeah, that sounds like whatever Toyota Tundra is hanging up at Coors this year is getting hit a few times. So let's hope that that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We don't need that.
Let's play with quarters with the fastball, and that's probably it.
And so to that point, because he has the sinker, that's his other fastball shape besides the cutter. That also, for whatever reason, gets a little bit more rise than normal. But he'll lose the rise.
Why is it called a sinker again then?
Well, so the thing is that his tail on that pitch will probably stay almost unchanged, maybe about an inch or so worth of less tail. And so that's the pitch that's really going to help him get balls on the ground more so here. And so if I was him, this splitter is solid. You don't have to change anything about this. This is a really good pitch. Splitter at Coors Field, phenomenal pitch.
Yeah, that's the right pitch to use.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sweeper, something similar. He's not going to get like the 3 inches of rise out of the hand with the sweeper as much. He's probably going to get maybe about 0 to maybe -1, but that break won't change very much. And so it'll still be pretty much the same effect in terms of getting those right-handed batters to swing at pitches out of the zone. And maybe even, you don't really want to go down and into lefties, especially with this pitch, but the idea is that it'll have the same breaking effect, not necessarily the same rise. And so you'll be in a very similar situation to like Jimmy Herget last year. I want to take a guess what percentage of the time Jimmy Herget threw his 2 breaking pitches, his curveball and slider combined?
It's a lot. How about 60?
It was 60.
That's good, better.
Spot on. 59%.
Couldn't have been worse than last week, but we're getting better.
I should be scared with the predictions.
Man, I would love to. I'd like to tell you this, man. I think the Quintana thing is awesome. I can't believe he'd even think about the Rockies, considering the pitcher he's been in the playoffs. And also, you know what? There's this guy that people do remember that are Rockies fans named Jamie Moyer.
Oh my gosh.
Jamie Moyer couldn't throw a fastball faster than I do right now without a warm-up. And I'm not kidding about that. Ask Chris. This is true.
Jamie Moyer. Yep.
And Jose Quintana doesn't throw that slow, but his stuff with kind of all the breaking stuff, a slower fastball, a lot of movement, I actually think it plays incredibly well at Coors. I think that there is a sneaky way where you have a couple 6-7 innings, a 2-run ball with him. I absolutely believe this. I know this sounds insane. You really wonder about how he wears down after a while. I just think he has a way of keeping stuff out of the middle of the zone. Great breaking ball. Fastball that he places really well. That stuff moves well. He puts it where he needs to. He's been a gamer for a few years now. Really, after people realized he wasn't the ace he was being paid for, he's really carved out this role as just a really selective guy. I think this is an amazing move. This is a guy you traded at the All-Star break as he's breaking down, but I think he is unbelievable through June.
And here's the thing, right? This is the difference between him and Tomo. Tomo is being brought in because Tomo can actually probably be pretty legit with his stuff. Quintana is being brought in not just because he's been really consistently good over the last several seasons, which is why it feels like he always ends up on a playoff team. He's been on a playoff team 7 of the last 9 years. He's played in MLB.
He kills it every time he's there, too.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's part of the reason why he's been brought in, because you have such a young staff outside of the 4 veterans that the Rockies now have. You have the Dolanders, the Feltners, the Gordons, and these other prospects that are coming up and might actually see some time this year in 2026 with injuries as they happen. It's nice to have a guy like Quintana around the young guys at spring training, having those conversations with guys, just giving them the perspective of a guy who has been on successful teams in very recent history and into his late 30s is still really darn good.
This is actually a veteran presence you can look to, and a guy that's had success, the guy that has tips for the staff, a guy that can be a bullpen coach while playing, right? An extra arm, ear, voice in that clubhouse. There is no downsides to this because you just cut him in a month and a half if it doesn't go well. I would be stunned if it doesn't really work. I think this guy is going to have 3 or 4 quality starts pretty quickly out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be interesting to see, kind of like you alluded to earlier, what the trade deadline strategy is for the Rockies, because they have Lorenzen, they have Tomo, they have Jose. It's like here's the thing. Freeland has 1 year left on his contract. Lorenzen, Tomo, and Jose all signed to 1 year contracts. You have Antonio Senzatella on the last year of his contract. And so what you're really seeing
probably
here,
not worth bringing up in this conversation.
well, actually, I have some news that might change that a little bit.
Dude.
But we'll get to that maybe a little bit later.
I might have to log off early. This is going so haywire.
Broad point, your 5 most experienced starters are all in the last year of their contract, and none of them might be back next year. And so what you're really seeing is that this front office is going all in this year and bringing in veterans who can help the young guys for the step that they're all going to have to take in 2027. Rockets will probably try to go sign a veteran.
We haven't seen the pitching staff try to win in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, this is true.
Like actively try to pursue a real rotation other than just bring in 5 arms that are fresh and need more looks.
Mm-hmm.
That's been the strategy. And there was this laughter when the Rockies signed somebody else as the GM. Guys, this looks pretty serious. This looks like might I quietly whisper into a microphone, they actually kind of look like a baseball team this year.
I wonder who said that last week.
Mr. Nelson, are you here in the chat right now? Yeah, I mean, secretly it's, man. Now I don't think they're making 4th place this year, but I mean, that's probably the ceiling, right, for this team is to make have a 4th place finish. Tough division, but
yeah,
they're gonna catch some people. And also something I'll say real quick before I get back to you. Don't expect much from either guy in spring training. If they get lit up, they're old. They're just getting their. Also, their stuff's not going to play in Florida like that would in Colorado.
Well,
Arizona. Excuse me. Yeah,
something similar, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but Arizona, different climate. Don't expect. If you see Quintana get hit, he has a few hit off him that are. You can't see the ball ever. Don't stress out, guys. That's not that the Rockies don't care, and he doesn't care if spring training goes fine or not. I really don't think that.
No, this is not a spring training signing.
Those aren't spring training team guys. Those aren't spring training arms.
This is entirely a culture signing and a stability signing, and so it fulfills each of those.
But tell me, what do you think of Quintana? Because I think his stuff is awesome for Coors.
So, okay, and that's what I was going to get to. His stuff is interesting. He throws 5 pitches. He really throws 4 most of the time, and it's mostly sinker changeup. Those are the 2 pitches you like to see out of a guy at Coors Field, like we were kind of talking about with Tomo and his sinker splitter mix.
Has really good control.
He does, yes. He's been known for his command. He can put pitches where they need to be, which is how he accounts for the fact that he averages 91 with his fastball.
And that's only going to go down. I mean,
only going to go down.
We're looking at 89 this year is what I would say.
Right. But so here's the thing with that. His curveball, which is his 3rd most used pitch,
it's ridiculous.
It's pretty good. Okay. 211 batting average against. And it has, what's this differential here? A 10 plus miles per hour differential. And so this is what you like about him here. He's got the pitch mix that can work here. His curveball, by the way, not really a 12-6. It's more of like a 10 to, what would that be? 10-3 because he's left-handed, right? Something like that. And so, 10-4 curveball. And so it's not going to be.
I just want to watch you figure it out.
This is amusing to Garrett watching me think. So the point is, his curveball will play better than most curveballs at Coors Field. It'll be similar to a Herget, similar to a Brennan Bernardino type of curveball. So that's fine. And the thing with that, you add in that velocity differential, that's what's going to really help him keep guys off balance as long as he can continue to hit his spots, not walk people and put himself in danger of maybe leaving one over the plate and in giving up a 3-run home run as opposed to maybe a solo shot.
I will say, I do think, even though his command has been there, I do think you see the walk rate go up this year as a guy who's older. And I think a guy that's going to be very careful about what he puts in the zone, even more than he has. Because again, a fastball down the middle is getting hit as a home run by just about anybody in the league with kind of what he places right now. You hope that change doesn't hang, that sinker doesn't hang. If it does, I mean, you're talking about fans leaving early like they've been for a few years in any of those games.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's gonna. I think that there's possibilities with that. But this is just such a high upside. I mean, you have to make these kind of moves. They're just gimmies.
You do, for sure. And I mean, something similar to Tomo, he's not going to really, he shouldn't throw the 4-seam fastball as much this year. Only threw it 12% of the time, but still, pitch like that is just going to get hammered.
Yeah,
that
can I ask for 9%?
9% as opposed to 12? Yeah, hopefully so. So. You also probably see. Here's the thing with his sinker. His sinker is also going to lose some of that rise, that ride before it tails off. But he'll probably continue to get about that much tail, less rise, and then the changeup will probably drop a little bit too, get less rise. And so it really shouldn't be too much of a different situation for Jose.
It's a ground ball pitcher and a pitcher that makes sense for a retooled infield. It's gonna give Tovar a lot of confidence early in the year. Karros, those kind of guys. And I think that this is a really good. I mean, this is the best signing they've had all year. That's where I would actually put it. I'm really excited about where he fits in the rotation. I mean,
it is pretty interesting that of all the teams, for a guy who's been on a playoff team 7 of the last 9 seasons, it's of all the places he could have signed willingly this offseason, it's so interesting that he picked the Colorado Rockies. And so I guess that also kind of speaks to the front office too, because it's like,
this is a really move that they don't make.
It's like, what are the front office guys telling Jose Quintana to make him sign with the worst team in baseball?
If you pitch good at all, we're putting you on the top team in the NL list. That's probably what they're telling you.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to hear a bold take? I know we're going to do more of these later on.
I like bold takes.
I think this is an outside chance. I think he could be the all-star for the Rockies this year. I really do.
He'll be the Rockies all-star representative.
This would probably be a really bad sign if he is the Rockies all-star. That would be really bad.
Yeah.
But I think there's a scenario where we're really excited about the offense, and it has to be better. If you see Doyle hit 210 and Tovar hit 220 again, like it. I mean, do we really think Goodman's gonna have the same year? I hope so. Yeah. That's no Rockies catcher has ever really done it in a while. I would like to say that whatever FanDuel's telling you about the odds for Quintana, gosh, you would make so much money if you got that.
And if not, Garrett will personally make up for all the losses that you incurred.
So actually, Mr. Nelson, I don't know if there's any money left over after the wedding, or Mr. Actually, no, I think if I know your wife's last name, but if there's any leftover money from the wedding, feel free to Venmo me, and then yes, I will take care of you.
Amazing. This is coming from the guy who does banking too, by the way. So
yeah, I mean, I can get you an account with me, but that's probably not for this podcast or any podcast either.
Yeah. Bottom line, that's an interesting bet to make on Jose Quintana being really, really good.
Tell me why this is a bad move. Either of these.
It's not a bad move, but it could easily be a bad move if Tomo starts walking more people, and if Jose significantly doesn't effectively get rid of the 4-seam fastball and decides that he's going to try to persist with the 4-seam at Coors Field. That's really the only reason this could be bad. Because I mean, if you have 2 guys here who are veteran arms, they can dominate with a 4-seam or with a fastball and an off-speed pitch, arm side, and then they have a solid breaking pitch, glove side. That's what it takes to be a good pitcher in this league. They both have that. And so there's really no reason to be concerned beyond some of those factors like the age or like the tendency to give up home runs or give away free passes, pitching to contact at Coors Field.
Yeah, guys, there's a world where both these guys are 70 ERA guys a month into the season, and we're all laughing. That doesn't really hurt this team.
And I really don't think it's going to happen either.
I don't either. Those guys, their stuff doesn't play that way.
No.
If you see our guy T throw the fastball 30% of the time, then don't come back to us whining. That's on. At some point, the coach's got to get in his ear. Yeah, if he's doing that.
But yeah, so ultimately, I think there's a lot for Rockies fans to be excited about with this rotation. I know it's not going to be the most knock you out of your socks rotation. Okay, it's going to probably be Kyle Freeland, Jose Quintana, Michael Lorenzen, Tomo, and then and then hopefully, this is what I'm hoping for. I'd like Dollander to be number 5, but I really like Tanner Gordon to fit with this mix. Okay. Like I said last week, won the most games of all your starters last year, had like 6 quality starts, even though he was up and down from AAA at least twice. And he really fits with this whole rotational mold, which is guys that don't throw terribly hard, but who don't walk people, who pitch to contact and can get ground balls, besides Gordon, I suppose. But Gordon is good with the walks. He doesn't walk people. All right. So that's the rotation you can expect. And considering that all your starters are pretty much solid defenders at pretty much every position besides first base and maybe right field or left field, depending on how that shakes out, it really won't be that much of an issue of these guys pitching to contact because you have those defenders in there. And then when you get to the bullpen later on in the game, the guys who throw the heat, who do get the ground balls, who get the punch outs, you don't really have to worry about it at that point because you're just set in the game. And so I think there's a lot of optimism.
There's not a lot of downside to this. This is a fail safe and an option. Again, the front office has not chosen this way for a while. And I think this Rockies fans, even if these 2 moves don't work out, should be incredibly optimistic that they're making moves like this going forward.
Yeah, this is a great sign of the sway that the front office has to not only make an attempt to go make free agent signings at the major league level, but actually get some pretty solid guys.
Next up, Chris Bryant hits a home run.
Well, that's if he can get to the ballpark without hurting himself. Almost literally, because this back condition is really nasty, dude. That's not something we talked about last week. He got placed on the 60-day injured list, like you hilariously alluded to earlier.
I hated that clouded our boy T's signing, that they just had to bring him up. Here's the guy that we moved the spot for.
Yep. And so look, he is probably done as a Colorado Rocky. That seems to be the consensus across the media.
Do you think cut happens this year?
No, I don't think it happens this year. I think it happens this.
Because that is an important thing to think about. Like, I mean, people have never been quicker to drop these guys than they are right now.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? Because like, why would you do that? Is there a prospect who's currently not on the 40-man roster who you would need to add to the 40-man roster?
No.
That you would be willing to cut that much money in order to do transactionally? And is there another prospect just independent of that who you're willing to remove from the 40-man roster for the sake of promoting one of those prospects who's not on the 40-man who might get bumped up?
I guess the first answer, the only one that makes sense to me right now, and obviously things are going to change, guys are going to emerge. Wouldn't it be if Charlie Condon starts hitting again?
So he'll probably debut later this year, assuming things start normally.
Let's just say he hits 340 with 20 home runs 3 months into the year.
If he hits 20 home runs,
he's
3 months
on
into
the roster, right? You can't hold him back at that point.
He's gonna be here if he does that.
That's what I'm saying.
Done that at the pro level.
It's probably not happening.
But if he does that, yeah, for sure. At that point, I'm immediately releasing Krim from this roster.
Oh,
I'm making Johnson the every third day first baseman. Yeah, if that happens, for sure. But so I guess back to the Bryant thing. It's like, is there a reason why they would need to cut him this year? I'm not sure. I think next year would make more sense. But
if you win 70 games like you were talking about this year, he can't be on the roster next year.
No. And he's really not going to be on the roster this year. He's not going to play.
Yeah, it feels like that's an upper bat. That's it feels unlikely. It's
Yeah, it's weird. He's a really expensive, non-helpful aspect of this team.
What's the least he can do to not make this the worst contract in Rockies history?
I don't think there's anything he can do.
Yeah,
Is there a worse one? I can't think of one.
Is it more likely he hits one more home run as a Rocky in his career, just one, or that he never plays a game again for the Rockies?
That he never plays a game again.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's really bad.
That's really bad. It's worse than the
Because
Anthony
actually,
Rendon
if he's
contract.
healthy,
too.
Don't you try to give him a first base look?
That's the only position he can
That's
play.
the only one he can play right now, right? Or DH.
That is where he would. Well, so So this is actually a fun question I had for you. I'll ask it in a second. But DH is kind of taken with some other
That's
younger
the
guys.
problem. He's kind of already cut out of this roster.
Yeah, and so there's no spot for him.
If Krim stinks and Johnston's all right, then I guess if he was healthy, he'd play there. That's literally it. And they'd probably just give Condon a look.
Yeah, at that point, Condon can't be any worse than Chris the last few years.
I would even tell you right now, I'd be pretty stunned if Condon wasn't better than both those guys.
Oh,
but that doesn't mean that's this year. Right? I mean,
and
there's so much for him to still work through as a hitter.
There's still TJ Rumfield in AAA too.
Yeah.
What if Rumfield breaks camp with the team and they're just like, all right, he dominated so much this spring. He'll be our opening day first baseman. And Condon, you get a nice solid chance to develop this year. Sorry, Krim. Sorry, maybe Johnston, but Johnston has some positional versatility, so maybe not. You two are probably not going to be on the team. We like Rumfield. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so much money committed to Condon. I think that you probably have to try again pretty soon. You have to try this year, I think, at some point. But are we can't be confident that he's the player that he was named to be, right? Because there's just a lot of things that minor leaguers have to work through, and guys that don't always they're not always up to it, frankly, right? So
This is true.
This is also a different regime. This GM doesn't have to believe in Charlie Condon the same way the old GM did. If he believed in anything other than losing, which we really don't know.
Yeah, he believed in his guys, and unfortunately, his guys were not as good as he believed that they were.
Yeah, I mean, what was Bud Black supposed to do the last few years?
That's a fair point.
I'm not saying he should still be the manager, but like, there's not really an option.
Yeah,
They don't hit.
We've got great looks going forward, though, pretty much in every aspect of the organization with new leadership, new coaching, and a lot of good, solid young guys. This is the final question I wanted to ask you. This is a fun one.
I'm not getting you a Pettit jersey for your birthday. Sorry.
Dang it. Who on this team, positionally, like position player speaking, who do you think is the Rockies' Shohei Ohtani equivalent right now?
Well, that's a really hard one.
I think there's a pretty clear answer, actually, believe it or not.
Okay.
Think Ohtani. What is Ohtani?
He's in everything.
He's in everything. Okay. Think about Ohtani offensively, not necessarily the pitching side, because he's the only one who does that.
Okay.
Offensively, who is the closest to Ohtani that the Rockies have on their roster?
I really hope you don't say Kyle Karros.
No. You look, just because one of the lineups we created last week had him batting,
dude, I was so worried about you for a second.
No, it's not Kyle. I love Kyle. Kyle's amazing. Kyle will earn his third base starting spot out of spring this year. Mark my words. We'll come back to that later. But no, it's not Kyle. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're not. You don't have to apologize. I'm actually thrilled. That's not the answer. Sorry, Kyle. I'm not the believer that Chris is in you right now.
No, brother. Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess we actually did we hit at this last week?
Did we? Maybe we did.
Tovar.
Not Tovar.
Okay.
No.
So I know we talked about a swing and miss rate actually being similar there.
Tovar does not have the power or the arm.
I would say they have certainly different body types.
Yes. But think more holistically, like role on a team potentially, like offensive fit. Who has that? Who fits that build the best?
Dude, none of them. I think this. Okay, you think about this differently than I do.
I do.
Is it Jordan Beck?
No, it's not Jordan Beck.
Okay.
It's not Tovar. It's not Beck.
It's not Freeman.
It's not Karros. Freeman. Yeah. No, sorry.
I'm just naming everybody I like on this team.
Yeah.
Dude, it better not be Goodman.
No, it's not Goodman. Goodman's
a catcher. That can't work.
Yeah, see, the direct comp there would be, okay, Ohtani's the best player on his team. Goodman's the best player on his team, but Goodman does not have the speed that Ohtani has.
Okay, so is it Brenton Doyle?
No. Now, I'm
naming every starter on this team.
Look, in theory, it could be, but Brenton doesn't hit for average the way Ohtani does. So I don't
He
think
theoretically should.
he theoretically should. He's a 5-tool player in an ideal world. He honestly is.
He and
just hasn't done it
Tovar
all
are
yet.
easily the most projectable players in the team.
Yes.
Not that they are.
But neither of them are the most Ohtani-like from a balanced build perspective.
Dude. Yeah.
You know who it is? And this
Go
is not a
ahead.
guy who's actually projected to be one of the top 3 starters on this team. Actually, let me see. He's projected to be the 4th best, tied for the 4th best player on this team by WAR. Okay. So he's up there, but he's not.
So it's not Krim then either.
It's not my boy Blaine Krim.
I mean, I might have walked out if you said Blaine Krim. Seriously, that would have been crazy. Okay.
You know who it is? You have one more guess. Now I'm going to tell you who it is.
Oh my gosh. It's
who is the best comparison player stylistically, offensively only on this team, who is our Shohei Ohtani.
I was doing so good before this, but I think I've made a fool of myself enough. Go ahead and reveal it for us.
You know who it is? Who I think it is? This is completely my opinion. Mickey Moniak.
Okay. I like Mickey. Mickey had a really good year.
Okay, and now here's why, right? Mickey had a solid year last year. He's projected to be the 4th best offensive player on this team this year. But look, he hits for average, 270. Okay. Hit for power, relatively speaking, 24, right? He's got an average arm. All right, fine.
That feels like 40 with how the year was last year, right?
Yeah. He's got 80 speed, and he's not really great with the fielding. All right. Ohtani with the fielding, I guess it's a toss-up. But when you think about a guy offensively who you put in there solely to DH, Mickey Moniak is the guy who fits that balanced build. And if he takes like massive steps forward, I don't think he'll be Ohtani good at any point in his career. But like
anything, probably.
No, probably not. Yeah. But when you think about who that is, there's a reason he's number 1 in my projected starting lineup in the order, is because of the fact that he is as balanced as Ohtani. He takes a lot of big swings and misses. He swings and misses a lot. Ohtani does that too. Okay. So they're very comparable in that way for the role that they fill on their offense. And for that reason, this is why I like Mickey in the leadoff spots, because Mickey can do anything at a leadoff spot. There are some people who are like, okay, you put Tyler Freeman in the leadoff spot, right? And then you have maybe Tovar batting behind him. But it's like, okay, I'm envisioning a situation there where it's like Freeman gets a base hit and then Tovar strikes out or lines out or hits an extra base hit maybe, right? So 2nd and 3rd, no one out, best situation. With Mickey Moniak, Mickey could hit a base hit. Tyler could get a base hit. You have 1st and 3rd, no one out. Mickey could hit a home run and you're up 1-0, out of the gate. So his offensive versatility is just so helpful. And I think him at the top of the lineup would just be absolutely amazing, because he's the closest thing from a balanced perspective that the Rockies have to an Ohtani right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my spiel. There you go. Hunter Goodman is good, but Mickey's more balanced all in all.
Yeah, I think you want that to be Brenton Doyle. I'll die on that hill. But I mean, what we've seen so far outside of Doyle's first year, that he actually does trend towards more Moniak. Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying there. I think it's a guy that I think if you just go to a game, you like his approach. So we'll see.
He's exciting. Yeah,
he's a guy that can theoretically hit 1 through 6 and be a productive player in any of those spots. I think there's a lot of versatility there. And there's a lot of untapped defensive stuff that exists with him.
He's probably not going to play much defense.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it really makes sense from what I've seen so far that he's not that good right in field. Like, why can't he be a little better?
He's terrible at fielding.
No, I know.
His routes are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you see the right girl on the right day. It's like focus isn't there. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like, Mickey might have been focused on Gianna Girardi a little too much in some of these games. But great hitter. Maybe not. Great's probably a little stretch.
I mean, 270 is great. Wait, who are we talking about?
Moniak.
Yeah, Moniak, 270.
He's going to be a good hitter for 8 more years.
Yeah, right. Okay, and that's exactly who the Rockies are hoping he can be.
They're also hoping for that for 5 or 6 more guys.
Yes.
So we'll see. Most of those are not going to probably play out the way we expect or we want or both.
No. This is true. But okay, that was my.
They got to come to Redstone Park. Watch me hit BP. I got some tricks. Got some tips for him. Yeah.
This guy absolutely crushes it with slow pitch softball.
Hey man, that's a different sport. I mean,
you can probably hit dingers.
Actually, I've hit 11 in the last 2 seasons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's what I'm talking about. Man.
Yeah, but bad baseball hitters. So really, don't actually listen to me. Just a good pitcher. Yeah. Those days are gone. Chris, how do you want to wrap this up?
Well, we got a comment from my father again.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. Kyle is the man for the hot corner. That's what his comment says. Kyle Karros. So the Kyle Karros love train does not stop. We are massive Kyle Karros fans on Hoops and Homers. We want him batting lead off, sarcastically speaking.
It just means you listen to your dad, and I respect that, but he's feeding you misinformation. Like, I'd rather it be about the Rockies than political misinformation. Sorry, man. Kyle Karros is hitting 220. And he's going to play a bad third base.
Oh, 220. Ouch. I think he's going to hit probably closer to 240. 15 home runs?
I'll give you 220, 12, and 38. And he plays in a below average third base.
Below average.
I don't think he's a fit for this team long term.
He's a plus defender at third base. In a limited sample size, too.
Yeah.
Now the arm strength isn't there. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
The arm strength is not necessarily there, but
which isn't great for third. That means he almost projects more as second guy.
Well, he's huge. He's 6'5".
So that's not going to project at second base. I'm talking about arm per se only on that.
Huge. And so
he really needs to hit 260 with, I don't know, 20 home runs for him to be
he could be that guy in 2 years.
Yeah. That's when the Rockies will be going for a wild card spot.
According to me, 2028. Yep. Kyle Karros starting at the hot corner for the 80-85 win Colorado Rockies.
He's going to be the first guy off the bench for the Cardinals in 2 years.
Oh, brother. Yeah. Yeah. Who are we sending? Hunter Goodman this time for a bunch of lowly prospects?
No, don't ask me that. I'm the wrong guy to ask about anything with bad traits for the Cardinals.
No, look, those days are over. We are in a new era of Rockies baseball. We are on a 3 to 4 win. Put it all together.
Give me 5 more Jose Quintanas. I love this signing so much.
Look, we'll see what we can do, man. It's phenomenal. But
does this change where you're at projection wise from where you were at last week? So you said 66 to 70.
Oh, my Quintana. Does the Sugano and Quintana ordeal?
You said it normally for once. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, okay. I could have.
No. You don't have to, actually. I've lost my mind enough tonight.
My takes will do that to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Does it move the needle? Well, the floor is probably 67 now. So it moved the needle one whole game.
Okay.
But I was really high on this team regardless. So it didn't really shift my perspective, but it was funny to see how many Rockies fans had their perspectives changed when we signed Quintana. Because it was like they signed Sugano and the Rockies fans were still like, this guy gives up dingers. Terrible move. Then they signed Quintana, and I went through the comments, and I was surprised by the optimism. I was like, oh,
everybody was thrilled.
66, 70 win team this year. I was like, guys, I know, but it was that before this signing. And so this almost certainly guarantees 67 to 70 now.
Yeah, we talked about the WAR coming back in, and really, unless I'm really just tying back where we were last week.
I know.
We talked about theoretically, this is not a numbers game. The game has to be played in the field. The floor for this team is right below what you said, based off number wise, and really, heads into right around 70 as a ceiling. There's a lot of room to work with this team. I think you could say 72 is an absolute slam dunk and probably the absolute ceiling you got on this team. But if this team wins 72 games, I mean, the fan base they already show up when they suck. You're getting sellouts if this team wins 72 games next year all the time.
Yeah. And there's really good reason. If I was a betting man, like I said, I would bet the over on that Vegas 52.5.
Well, I mean, how much would have to go wrong at that point?
Dude, look, and so this is what I said last night too.
There's a regression in the mean. You remember the White Sox last year. Still aggressively awful. Did a lot less than the Rockies did this offseason and won how many more games? Almost 20.
Yeah. And
just by existing, it can't happen twice in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I said last night. That's what I was saying. Last night on Rockies Now, I was like, don't underrate how uniquely atrocious last year was. Don't make it seem like all the change that's happened is only going to result in like 10 to 15
usually
moments.
don't even start that slow. They usually will get people excited for 30 games, and then that's where
And
so
that's
right. They don't have talent. There's talent on this team this year.
There's talent and there's tools for sure. Hey, here's a very fun thing. We talked about the WAR last week, the massive shift. 20 WAR shift. You got rid of -11. You got rid of -10. You brought in 10 or brought back 10 combined. Mm-hmm. It's a 20 WAR swing. What was Charlie Blackmon, beloved Colorado Rocky? What was Charlie Blackmon's career WAR in 14 seasons?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. It's probably lower than I want to say, isn't it?
What's your guess? Think about it like this. I think Mike Trout has like 80 something right now. He's like top 10 in WAR all time.
Yeah.
So high 80s is like elite all time.
I want to say 43.
You think Chuck had a 43 WAR?
I was hoping so, man.
Nah, it's not that high.
I know. He's so good, dude.
He was so good. He was really good.
I was there for his last game?
No. Mm-hmm. I do now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just really cool to be around. Vibes are great.
It's so much vibes, man. 14 years. Career WAR of 21. 22 maybe.
I was at half.
Half.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He was on good teams.
Yeah, and he was really good. You know how crazy that is? The Rockies this offseason effectively got a whole career's worth of Charlie Blackmon WAR better.
Guys, by the time we get to the season, Chris is going to be pushing for 80. This is going to be obnoxious. Pray that I survive this.
You will try. You might not succeed. But I mean, think about how crazy that is. You have a net change in WAR of 20. Chuck's career WAR was 22, and people want to insist that this team is only going to be 10 wins better.
Plus, you know what? Say it again.
Ridiculous.
Say it again for the crowd. I'm giving you one more chance to say his name.
Oh, my boy, man. I mean, he was a huge signing along with Jose Quintana, Tomoyuki Sugano. Beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. It's phenomenal. I'm so excited, not just about the fact that you're super amused by me saying Big Tomo's name, but also the fact that this is going to be a much better Rockies team than pretty much everyone expects it to be.
You're going to freak out with the first time you see a splitter, aren't you?
You will see me do some celebrating. That's for sure. Yes. Mm-hmm.
If I get a video from Chris at 11 o'clock while I'm working about Tomo's Sugano splitter,
that dude,
I'm going to tell Chris we have to play one-on-one again in basketball.
I know. I'm going to get cooked. All because I was excited about this man's name and his splitter.
But look what you're doing to him. Guys, don't fail, Chris. He's so excited this year. This is dangerous.
Because, look, honestly, I was worried for a second that, since 2023, my pick for the Rockies my year pick for the Rockies getting back to being competitive was 2028. Last year concerned me a little bit, but I'm very glad to see that we're getting really nicely back on.
What was your win projection last year? Like 57?
I actually didn't project one last year, funny enough.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. Well, look, out of spring training, I would have been if you had talked with me back then, I would have been really furious about the fact that we had a 4-man rotation, that Sean Bouchard made this team over Zach Veen, and that Jacob Stallings wasn't the opening day catcher, was he? But Jacob Stallings was still on this team. So much was just atrocious with the team last year. They brought back Alan Trejo when Tovar got hurt.
No, I know. Have you seen a catcher that's that bad? Not just that bad, but that old and that bad. He was genuinely not worth playing. I mean, 90% of the time he was out there.
Yeah.
He wasn't a playable asset.
Yeah. So
oh man.
Bottom line is I don't know how high I would have been on the team last year. I probably would have said 60 wins again, so I would have been really off. This year, I have the numbers to back me up on this, because a lot of the people complaining out there, if you're a Rockies fan complaining about this offseason, you have zero idea what exactly the heck is
I think we need to go division by division late in March. I think we should do it.
Division by division?
No, I'm just saying that's
a good idea.
Records.
I like it.
We can go in depth on the NL West, obviously, to respect the Rockies. But I think we should have this. I think we should have a whole thing, the whole predict them all.
You'll come back here in March.
About a month from now. Even a little bit more than that, I think we can get that done.
We'll get it done. We will do it because there's a lot to be excited about, a lot to talk about. But
I got anything I can do to get him away from Tim Hardaway talk. It just got to stop at this point. Bro. Tim Hardaway's not going to be worth it in the playoffs. And Cam Johnson, guys, he's like the ninth man on this team the way he's played so far. I want to be super real about that.
Oh, well, we'll see what time comes up with here, my friend. But this was a phenomenal discussion.
This was fun. This was definitely more energetic, more fun.
Mm-hmm. Still an hour and a half.
Please, yeah. I know we talked about it being like maybe an hour. It's not going to happen ever.
Nope.
Let's hope Kawhi gets suspended before Thursday. I will send Chris an updated pick if that happens.
Oh, brother.
Crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened. This is true. So,
yeah.
But hopefully, we're just hoping that you can stay close in the competition with the
Rockies win the World Series or Christ comes back. Which one's happening first?
Oh, brother. I have a statistically higher chance of guessing I don't remember what you said first, but the one that's not Jesus' return.
The Rockies World Series.
I have a significantly better chance of predicting that. I'm predicting that.
Yeah, even touching that, I'm impressed you even wanted to touch that one. That's a tough question.
It's a tough one, but oh well. We'll see. Time will tell.
Well, my friend, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming on, and don't forget to subscribe.
You know the drill. He already told you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Have fun. Peace out.